What shall we talk about this week? Well, that's an interesting topic in and of itself. I kind of sort of occurred to me that during the pandemic, when we started meditating together and I had moved and kind of got myself into a different situation. And I remember in cold November mornings, the first time we meditated in this format, and I decided to start doing these little talks and record them. That since then, my phone tells me that about 1,300 days have passed. It's a lot of days. And so we didn't meet on the weekends, it was mostly weekdays. So then it occurred to me that I've probably somewhere around, I don't know, 1,000 times, roughly, plus or minus. I've we finished meditating, and then I've I've made these little talks. And what the hell am I doing with these little 6 minute Dharma talks? 6 minutes to enlightenment, it says, or something like that. But anyway, it's like, what am I talking about? What am I thinking about? Am I trying to impose my understanding on the world? Do I have so much information that it's my duty and obligation to impose it on the world? And then, no, it's not that. I just have a lot of questions, and it seems like there's so many good questions to ask, and there's so many good questions to inquire. And when you ask, we receive. And so for about 1,000 days, it's been a day or a week when there's been sort of a question on my mind. And I notice that when I do these talks, it's open-ended. I'm working things out. I'm asking questions and trying to think thoughts that I've never thought before, and open my mind and tune into ways of thinking and speaking and saying that are something new and different, rather than just the same old blah, blah, blah that might be going through my head. So that's sort of my thinking. And so the thought today is that, and I'd like to work this out this week, is that I do find myself frequently saying everything is always working out for me. I love that affirmation. Things are always working out for me, even when it seems like there isn't. So this has been now extrapolated and extended into this thought. And it's the differential between, we always say God's will or my will. We're quite familiar with that. But today I'm thinking about it, God's way or my way. God's way or my way. And here's what I'm thinking about that, and what I'm seeking to work through and get information and insight, knowledge and power on. And that is the thought that if things aren't going my way, then maybe they're going God's way. And here's how I mean that. Do you ever have any point during the day where things seem to not be going your way? I bet you do. You know, it's like there's two times in life. Everything's going your way. Everything's groovy, calm, peaceful, copacetic, and wondrous, right? Things are going your way. And boy, isn't that just the best? But have you ever noticed there are rare moments, hopefully more and more rare, where something didn't go your way? I got up this morning and made my coffee and reached in for the half and half, and damn if I didn't get more half and half, and I had not enough. I only had half the half and half that I needed. And fortunately, half and half measures do avail me something, but I didn't have quite enough half and half. So my coffee wasn't just the right temperature. It was too hot. Couldn't drink it yet. I guarantee you I will drink it. But something didn't go my way. Obviously, it's embarrassingly trite and minor, but still, I felt grumpy Greg coming on. And then it was like, well, what's going on here? And it's like, well, things didn't go my way. And then this radical thought, and this is what I'm wrestling with. When things don't go my way, things are going God's way. Is that true? What do I think of that? And then, so I pondered and thought, and it was like, well, things must always be going God's way, because this is God's universe and there are no mistakes and nothing happens by accident. And if there's an accident that happens, it's only my limited human perception. So, in fact and in truth, everything is always going God's way. So, what should happen? Should I try to wrestle with the universe and make things happen always in my way? Or is there a way for me to soften, align, conform, tune in so that I'm always aligned with God's way? Then I would never feel the sting, the pinch, the restriction, the constraint, the misery, and the suffering of things seemingly not going my way. So today's mantra, if we choose to accept it, definitely mission impossible. But the mantra is for the week. If something doesn't seem to be going my way, it's actually going God's way. And it's my affirmed and unabashed goal and intention to have and to see things that are always going God's way. Anyway, we're working that thought out, and I hope it leads to great insight and inspiration, wisdom, knowledge, and power for you. And off we go. Have a great day.